So we have our ID quiz resources. We are doing our identification notes on birds today. So I have a few different resources in here for you. This is a bird breeder's website, but then also we have About the Refuge. This is a Rescue the Birds. This is a sanctuary up north. So if you're looking to adopt a bird, here is a bird sanctuary for you, so you can get some more information about them there if you're interested. Here is my notebook set up for my birds. So I have ID Notes Birds in the top left corner. On the top right, I've got my name, date, and session. I'm going to fold my paper in Cornell style, so slightly left of center on my paper. On the left-hand side, today I'm going to do the name of my categories, my birds, and we're going to talk about two different diseases. So left hand side is going to be my main topics, right hand side's characteristic of those species, draw any key aspects you'd like to, and then I'm going to give a list of species that fall into that group that we're going to be talking about. And then we can go ahead and start our Quizlet from here. So go back, click on my Quizlet link, and then I'm going to go full screen. And the first thing we're going to talk about is psittacine beak and feather disease. So that's psittacine beak and feather disease. We're going to see this as an acronym when we're looking at our bird species. So it's PBFD, and this is going to cause problems with the skin, feathers, and beak of my animals, specifically looking at my psittacines. And then we've got bornavirus infection. So bornavirus infection is called PDD. So the symptoms of PDD is going to be loose discolored feces, tremors, blindness, ataxia, weakness, and abdominal head movements, or abnormal head movements. So the head is going to kind of be tremoring a little bit or shaken side to side. So PDD is very serious for our birds. So it is something that you need to be aware of, and is something that hits our parrot friends. So the first group of birds we're going to look at are cockatiels. So we've got characteristics of cockatiels. Cockatiels are in the order Psittaformes and the family Psittacidae. So this is important to note because of those diseases, right, that hit those birds. Also, when you're looking at birds, we've got our parrots. So psittacines or psittaformes are our parrot friends versus getting like a finch and things, and we'll talk about that. So health concerns with cockatiels is giardia, chlamydophilisosis or chlamydia, and then they also get feather cysts. So when their feathers are growing, they can get cysts in those feather follicles. Lifespan for cockatiels anywhere from 10 to 17 years, depending on the quality of care and your diet. Some things that are notable is that the males are going to have those orange cheeks, and females will have barring under their wings, where males are going to be solid. So they are sexually dimorphic, so you can't tell the difference between both males and females. Males, again, are going to have those orange cheeks, and then females will have barring under their wings. Males are going to be nice and solid. So if I look at this picture of a cockatiel, we have those orange cheeks, so we know then that it is going to be a male. So these are cockatiels, not to be confused with cockatoos, which we'll talk about in a second. So here we go, our cockatoos. So cockatoos are from Australia. They are psittaformes, right? So we're talking about parrots. So parrots are psittaformes, and then they are cockatooidae. So cockatooidae is the family that they're in. Health concerns, we have that PBFD. They also have very high instances of feather destructive behavior and self-mutilation. They can get a form of herpes virus, and they also will be prone to PDD. So cockatoos are super intelligent, as many of the psittaformes are, and if you are not giving them enough attention, they will start to mutilate themselves. So they will start to pluck out their feathers. Lifespan is about 30 to 45 years, so we're definitely making a very big commitment. Something of note is males typically have a black or dark brown iris, which is that eye, and then they have a crest of feathers that will rise in response to various stimuli. So both males and females will have that crest of feathers. And you guys have seen that before. So you have a little crest right here. This is a Goffin's cockatoo. So Goffin's is one of the species of cockatoo. So they are smaller, and we can see that light peach color around them. And then we have a sulfur crested cockatoo. Sulfur crested cockatoos are probably your more common cockatoos. So here is a yellowy or sulfury color on the crest, as well as the underside of the vent as well, or the wings, and the underside of the tails right there. And then we have an umbrella cockatoo, which is huge. So your umbrella cockatoos are super large. Again, just plain white, so umbrellas are white all over, no coloring in the crest. And then you have a Malaccan cockatoo. So Malaccans have like a peach color right here. Also that center belly, their sternum area will also may have that coloring. And then the bottom of that vent, or that bottom of the tail where the vent is yellow. Again, cockatoos are, all of your larger parrots are like 2-year-olds, but cockatoos are the most needy out of the bunch, I would say, as far as really needing to be bonded with their human. So you definitely have a lot of care to take care of with those. Next, we have our lovebirds. So lovebirds, we definitely think about coming in pairs. So they are psittaforms and they are Psittacidae. So that is their family. Health concerns is PBFD, Giardia, pox virus, and then they also get lovebird eye disease. So they have some issues with their eyes. Lifespan's a little bit less, so 15 to 30 years. Again, it all is depending on how you are treating that animal. The diet plays a big role. So oftentimes we think of birds eating seeds. That's fine for certain birds, but not for our parrots. Our parrots actually need to have fresh fruits and vegetables in their diets, and you have to be careful never to feed a bird avocado. Notable about lovebirds is that if you do pair them, so if you do have 2 lovebirds, they are going to tend to be more aggressive toward the humans. So birds tend to be like that. So if you want a bird to be able to bond with you and take it out and cuddle with you all the time, best to only have one, but then you need to be that bird's companion. If you get 2, they generally pair together, especially really the lovebirds, cockatoos, all of them will do that. Well, they'll pair together. Well, they're going to be each other's buddies because they're with each other all the time. And so when you go in and try to handle them, they might be a little bit more aggressive. So here is the Fisher lovebird. So we have a Fisher lovebird right there. Next, this is your peach-faced lovebird, right? So it looks like it has a peach face. And then that's a masked lovebird. So it looks like it's wearing a mask. And so they're all fairly small, or medium size, I would say. And then all of our beaks are going to be that rounded edge with that point, because they are going to be very strong and be able to get into nuts and fruits in the wild, and like fruit pits. Next, we have our parakeets. And so lovebirds are also a type of, right, they're in the same family. So parakeets and lovebirds are both Psittaformes and Psittacidae. Health concerns is Nepidococcus mites. So it's a type of mite that they are going to be prone to. But most mites are species specific. So you don't necessarily need to worry about you getting those mites, but it is something that can happen with those birds. They get avian polyomavirus. Obesity is huge with them. Also fatty liver disease. So if we feed them too many seeds, they end up getting what's called a fatty liver disease, because there's so much fat in those seeds that we feed them that their liver goes into overload, and it's almost becomes toxic, right? So they can't process all of that fat. So that fat is stored in the liver, and so they get fatty liver disease. Lifespan is anywhere from 7 to 15 years. Something to note about parakeets is that they are generally termed for a small parrot with a long tail. English budgies have bigger heads and chests, and they are sexually dimorphic. So males in your parakeet species will have a blue cere. So we generally look at, this is like just a budgerigar parakeet. So when we say budgie, we're talking about budgerigar parakeets. The cere is that part right there where the nostrils are. And so that will be blue in males for our parakeets. Next, we have our African gray parrots. So African grays are Psittaformes and Psitticidae, and then the genus is Psittacus. So we have two species, or two subspecies rather. So health concerns is PBFD, PDD, hypovitaminosis A, so a low, so hypo is low, vitamin A. So they end up oftentimes not have enough vitamin A in their diet. They also will self-mutilate their feathers. So again, if you are not keeping this bird entertained, if you are not giving them toys, interacting with them on a regular basis, taking them out, letting them engage in their environment, they will start to mutilate their feathers. Lifespan is about 30 to 40 years. There are two subspecies, so there's a Congo and a Timneh. Congos are smaller with a silver gray body, and Timnehs are larger with a dark gray body and maroon tail. So in the wild, these species don't meet each other. That's why there's those subspecies. So they're not going to interact. And then they've adapted and gotten some different characteristics because of their location. So this is the Timneh. So we see that dark feather on the tail. So that's the Timneh African gray. And then you have the Congos. So definitely a difference in that coloration. Nice and bright there. So there's that Congo African gray. Next is a canary. So we're done with our parrot friends, and now on some more the songbirds, if you will. So we have the canary. So these are Passeriformes, Fringillidae. So Passeriformes are our songbird. So all of the order that has Passeriformes, those are the songbirds. And then the family is Fringillidae for our canaries. So health concerns, they definitely have mites, pox virus, atoxoplasmosis, and then coccidiosis or coccidia. Again, that is going to be the mites, and coccidia is something that is going to be species specific or within that order, so we don't need to worry about getting that for ourselves, but it is something we need to make sure that our animals are kept nice and clean, so we don't have those health concerns. Lifespan is definitely shorter, only 6 to 12 years. Males are going to have a more notable song, so if you want a bird that's going to sing all the time, you are going to want to get a male canary, and there is a canary right there. They come in all different types of morphs, so they've been able to do a lot of different things with the feathers and curling them and all the jazz. But we'll notice the beak is pointy because these are going to be pecking at insects, where your parrots are herbivores. So your parrots are eating fruits and seeds and seed pits of fruits and things, where your canaries and your songbirds are going to be eating insects. They're insectivores, so they need a sharper beak to be grabbing at those things. They'll also eat a few seeds. Next is our macaw. So I lied. We're not done with our birds yet, or our parrots. So macaws, we have, these are Psittaformes, right? Psitticidae. The genus is Ara. So you'll find there's over 12 species of 12 species of macaws, and so we'll look at a few of them, the larger breeds. And some health concerns, we have proventriculus dilation disease, or PDD, which is again that virus, and you have a respiratory disease, so they will often get colds, and they are also prone to their feather disease. Lifespan 30 to 45 years, but it has been possible to see macaws with a lifespan of 75 to 100. So we talk about animals that you need to will to somebody else, right? These are lifelong commitments, especially because these birds are like 2-year-olds. So they do have bare facial patches. They're very noisy and maybe very destructive. So not just destructive with their own feathers, but destructive with their toys. Macaws are able to snap your finger in half. So that is a blue and gold macaw, right? So we have the blue and the gold. We have that bare patch on its face. So then we have a green-winged macaw, and we have a green wing right there. So that is our green-winged macaw, and again, that giant beak. And then we have a scarlet macaw. So scarlet macaws have yellows and reds and blues all on their tails as well. These might be more the ones that you're used to seeing. Next, we have our sun conure. So sun conures are also a type of parrot, Psittaformes, Psitticidae, aratinga. So they do get chlamydia or chlamydiophilus, PBFD. They live about 25 to 40 years, medium-sized and found in the Amazon basin. So here's a sun conure right there. And we have that little beak, bright yellow like the sun. They are very loud birds, so sun conures definitely make a lot of noise. Then we have zebra finches. So back to passeriforms, or our songbirds. Again, they're also in the family of Fringillidae. Health concerns is polyomavirus, papillomavirus, salmonella, and then they also get air sac mites. So birds have air sacs, so they get mites in there. Lifespan's about 4 to 7 years. They are sexually dimorphic, so males will sing and have striped sternums, where females do not sing, nor do they have stripes on their sternum. So that should say do. They do not have stripes on their sternum. So here I have stripes on my sternum, so therefore that is a male, right? So it looks like a zebra. Boop, boop. And then they have that square beak again. And that is it.